Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Amazing Sharks. I just wanted to get this posted before Thanksgiving because I wanted to wish all of the people who celebrate Thanksgiving out there a happy Turkeymas Day. That's right, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And I know it's a little late. I'm telling you, the flu is going around in my house, and my fiance was just sick with the flu, so had to deal with that. Anyways, here is the video I promised you guys on the whale shark. All right, you guys. So let's learn about our amazing friends, the whale shark. The whale shark is a slow moving, filter feeding carpet shark and the largest known extant fish species. The largest confirmed individual had a length of 61.7 feet. The whale shark holds many records for size in the animal kingdom, most notably being by far the most massive living non cetacean animal. It is the sole member of the genus Rhincodon and the only extant member of the family Rhynchodontidae, which belongs to the subclass Elasmobranchi in the class Chondrichthyes. Before 1984, it was classified as Rhinodon into Rhinodontidae. Whale sharks inhabit the open waters of all tropical oceans. They are rarely found in water below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Whale sharks' lifespans are estimated to be between 80 and 130 years, based on studies of their vertebral growth bands and the growth rates of free swimming sharks. Whale sharks have very large mouths and are filter feeders, which is a feeding mode that occurs on only two other sharks, the megamouth shark and the basking shark. They feed almost exclusively on plankton and small fishes and pose no threat to humans. The species was distinguished in April 1828 after the harpooning of a 15-foot specimen in Table Bay, South Africa. Andrew Smith, a military doctor associated with British troops stationed in Cape Town, described it the following year. The name whale shark refers to the animal's appearance and large size. It is a fish, not a mammal, and like all sharks, is not closely related to whales. Whale sharks possess a broad, flattened head with a large mouth and two small eyes located at the front corners. Unlike many other sharks, whale sharks' mouths are located in the front of the head rather than on the underside of the head. At 39.7 foot, whale shark well, I guess if I get that right, there should be a 39.7 foot whale shark was reported to have a mouth 5.1 foot across. Whale shark mouths can contain over 300 rows of tiny teeth and 20 filter pads, which it uses to filter feed. The spiracles are located just behind the eyes. Whale sharks have five large pairs of gills. Their skin is dark gray with a white belly marked with an arrangement of pale gray or white spots and stripes that is unique to each individual. The skin can be up to 5.9 inches thick and is very hard and rough to the touch. The whale shark has three prominent ridges along its sides, which start above and behind the head and end at the caudal peduncle. The whale shark has two dorsal fins set relatively far back on the body, a pair of pectoral fins, a pair of pelvic fins, and a single medial anal fin. The caudal fin has a larger upper lobe. Whale sharks have been found to possess dermal denticles on the surface of their eyeballs that are structured differently from their body denticles. The dermal denticles, as well as the whale shark's ability to retract its eyes deep into their sockets, serve to protect the eyes from damage. Evidence suggests the whale sharks can recover from major injuries and may be able to regenerate small sections of their fins. Their spot markings have also been shown to reform over a previously wounded area. The completed and annotated genome of the whale shark was published in 2017. Rhidospin, the light-sensing pigment in the rod cells of the retina, is normally sensitive to green and used to see in dim light, but in the whale shark and the bottom-dwelling cloudy cat shark, two amino acid substitutions make the pigment more sensitive to blue light instead, the light that dominates the deep ocean. One of these mutations also makes the rhidospin vulnerable to higher temperatures. In humans, a similar mutation leads to congenital stationary right blindness, as the human body temperature makes the pigment decay. The pigment becomes unstable in shallow water where the temperature is higher and the full spectrum of light is present. To protect from this instability, the whale shark deactivates the pigment pigment when in shallow water, as otherwise the pigment would hinder full color vision. In the colder environment at 2,000 meters below the surface where the shark dives, it is activated again. The mutations thus allow the shark to see well at both ends of its great vertical range. The eyes also have lost cone opsins except LWs. The whale shark is the largest non cetacean animal in the world. However, the maximum size and growth patterns of the species are not well understood. Limited evidence, mostly from males, suggests that sexual maturity occurs at around 26 to 30 feet in length, with the possibility of females sexually maturing at a similar size or larger. Various studies have aimed to estimate the growth and longevity of whale sharks either by analyzing evidence from vertebral growth rings or measurements taken from resighted sharks over several years. The information is used to model growth curves which can predict asymmetric length. The growth curves produced from these studies have estimated asymmetric lengths ranging from 15 to 21.9 meters or 49 to 72 feet. A 2020 study looked at the growth of whale shark individuals over a 10-year period around Ningalo Reef and concluded the species exhibit sexual dimorphism with regard to size, with females growing larger than males. The study found that males on average reach 26 to 30 foot in length. The same study had less female data but estimated an average length of around 48 feet. However, this value dropped to 40 feet if data from the aquarium whale sharks was included. The authors noted that these estimates represent average asymmetric size and are not maximum sizes possible. Additionally, they acknowledge the potential for regional size variation. Most previous growth studies have had data predominantly from males, and none have data from sharks over 33 feet. Not all previous studies created separate growth curves for males and females, instead, combining data from both sexes. Those studies had made sex specific growth curves, have estimated large asymmetric length estimates for males with lengths of 59 feet or more. However, mostly immature males were available in these studies, with few adults to constrain the upper portion of the growth curves. The largest total length for the species is uncertain due to a lack of detailed documentation of the largest reported individuals. Whale sharks as large as 59 to 66 feet in length have been reported in scientific literature. However, most whale sharks observed are smaller. Large whale sharks are difficult to measure accurately both on the land and in the water. When on land, the total length measurement can be affected by how the tail is positioned, either angled as it would be in life or stretched as far as possible. Historically, techniques such as comparisons to objects of known size and knotted ropes have been used for in water measurements, but these techniques may be inaccurate. Various forms of photogrammetry have been used to improve the accuracy of in water measurements, including underwater and aerial techniques. Since the 1800s, there have been accounts of very large whale sharks. Some of these are as follows. In 1868, the Irish national scientist Edward Percival Wright obtained several small whale shark specimens in the Seychelles. Wright was informed of one whale shark that was measured to be exceeding 45 feet. Wright claimed to have observed specimens over 50 feet and was told of specimens upwards of 70 feet. Hugh M. Smith described a huge animal caught in a bamboo fish trap in Thailand in 1919. The shark was too heavy to pull ashore and no measurements were taken. Smith learned through independent sources that it was at least 10 WA, a Thai unit of length measuring between a person's outstretched arms. Smith noted that one Wa could be interpreted as either 6.6 feet or the approximate average of 5.6 to 5.9 feet based on the local fishermen. Later sources have stated this whale shark as approximately 59 feet, but the accuracy of the estimate has been questioned. In 1934, a ship named the Manganu came across a whale shark in the southern Pacific Ocean and rammed it. The shark became stuck on the prow of the ship, supposedly with 15 feet on one side and 40 feet on the other, suggesting a total length of about 55 feet. Scott A. Eckert and Brent S. Stewart reported on satellite tracking of whale sharks from 1994 to 1996. Out of the 15 individuals tracked, two females were reported as measuring 49 feet and 59 feet. A 68.1-foot long whale shark was reported as being stranded along Ratnaguri coast in 1995. A female individual with a standard length of 49.2 feet and an estimated total length at 61.7 feet was reported from the Arabian Sea in 2001. In a 2015 study reviewing the size of marine megafauna, McLean and colleagues considered this female as being the most reliable and accurately measured. On February 7, 2012, a large whale shark was found floating 93 miles off the coast of Karachi, Pakistan. The length of this specimen was said to be between 36 and 39 feet with a weight of around 33,000 pounds. The whale shark inhabits all tropical and warm temperate seas. The fish is primarily pelagic and can be found in both coastal and oceanic habitats. Tracking devices have shown that the whale shark displays dynamic patterns of habitat utilization, likely in response to the availability of prey. Whale sharks observed off the northern Yucatan Peninsula tend to engage in inshore surface swimming between sunrise and mid afternoon, followed by irregular vertical oscillations in the oceanic waters during the afternoon and overnight. About 95% of the isolating period was spent in the epelagic depths, that is 660 feet and below. But whale sharks also took regular deep dives of 1,600 feet and above, often descending in brief stutter steps, perhaps for foraging. The deepest recorded dive was 6,325 feet, making the whale shark the deepest diving fish to be recorded. Whale sharks were also observed to remain continuously at depths of greater than 160 feet for 3 days or more. The whale shark is migratory and has two distinct subpopulations: an Atlantic subpopulation from Maine and the Azores to Cape Agula, South Africa, and an Indo Pacific subpopulation, which holds 75% of the entire whale shark population. It usually roams between 30 degrees north and 35 degrees south, where water temperatures are higher than 70 degrees Fahrenheit, but have been spotted as far north as the Bay of Fundy, Canada, and the Sea of Okhotsk, north of Japan, and as far as Victoria, Australia. Seasonal feeding aggregations occur at several coastal sites such as the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, Nigaloo Reef in Western Australia, Darwin Island in the Galapagos, Quintana Roo in Mexico, Mafia Island of the Pwani region in Tanzania, in Humbein province in Mozambique, the Philippines, around Mahi in the Seychelles, the Gujarati and Kerala coasts of India, Taiwan, southern China, and Qatar. In 2011, more than 400 whale sharks gathered off the Yucatan coast. It was one of the largest gatherings of whale sharks recorded. Aggregations in that area are among the most reliable seasonal gatherings known for whale sharks, with large numbers occurring in most years between May and September. Associated ecotourism has grown rapidly to unsustainable levels. Growth, longevity, and reproduction of the whale shark are poorly understood. The growth bands have been used to estimate the age, growth, and longevity of whale sharks. However, there was uncertainty as to whether vertebrate growth bands are formed annually or biannually. A 2020 study compared the ratio of carbon 14 isotopes found in growth bands of whale shark vertebrae to nuclear testing events in the 1950s and 60s, finding that growth bands are laid down annually. The study found the age of 50 years for a 33-foot female and 35 years for a 32-foot male. Various studies looking at vertebrate growth bands and measuring whale sharks in the wild have been estimated their lifespans from 80 years and up to 130 years. Evidence suggests that males grow faster than females in the earlier stages of life but ultimately reach a smaller maximum size. Whale sharks exhibit late sexual maturity. One study looking at a free swimming whale sharks estimated that age at maturity in males is at 25 years. Pupping of whale sharks has not been observed, but mating has been witnessed twice in St. Helena. Mating in this species was filmed for the first time in whale sharks off the Nigaloo Reef via airplane in Australia in 2019, when a larger male unsuccessfully attempted to mate with a smaller, immature female. The capture of a 35-foot female in July 1996 that was pregnant with 300 pups indicated that whale sharks are oviviparous. The eggs remain in the body and the females give birth to live young, which are 16 to 24 inches long. Evidence indicates the pups are not all born at once, but rather the female retains sperm from one mating and produces a steady stream of pups over a prolonged period.
On March 7, 2009, marine scientists in the Philippines discovered what is believed to be the smallest living specimen of the whale shark. The young shark, measuring only 15 inches, was found with its tail tied to a stake of a beach in Pilar, Sorsogon, Philippines, and was released into the wild. Based on this discovery, some scientists no longer believe this area is just a feeding ground. This site may be a birthing ground as well. Both young rail sharks and pregnant females have been seen in the waters of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean, where numerous whale sharks can be spotted during the summer. In a report from Rapier last August 2019, whale sharks were sighted during World WWF Philippines photo identification activities in the first half of the year. There was a total of 168 sightings, 64 of them re-sightings or reappearances of previously recorded whale sharks. WWF noted that a very young whale shark juveniles were identified among the 168 individuals spotted in the first half of 2019. Their presence suggests that Cow Pass may be a pumping ground for whale sharks, further increasing the ecological significance of the area. Large adult females, often pregnant, are a seasonal presence around the Galapagos Islands, which may have reproductive significance. One study between 2011 and 2013 found that 91.5% of the whale sharks observed around Darwin Island were adult females. The whale shark is a filter feeder, one of the only three known filter feeding shark species. It feeds on plankton, including copepods, krill, fish eggs, Christmas Island red crab larvae, and small nectonic lice such as small squid or fish. It also feeds on clouds of eggs during mass spawning of fish and corals. The many rows of vestigial teeth play no role in feeding. Feeding occurs either by ram filtration, in which the animal opens its mouth and swims forward, pushing water and food into the mouth, or by active suction feeding, in which the animal opens and closes its mouth, sucking in volumes of water that are then expelled through the gills. In both cases, the filter pads serve to separate food from water. These unique black sieve like structures are presumed to be modified gill rakers. Food separation in whale sharks is by cross flow filtration, in which the water travels nearly parallel to the filter pad surface, not perpendicularly through it, before passing to the outside, while denser food particles continue to the back of the throat. This is an extremely efficient filtration method that minimizes fouling of the filter pad surface. Whale sharks have been observed coughing, presumably to clear a buildup of particles from the filter pads. Whale sharks migrate to feed and possibly to breed. The whale shark is an active feeder, targeting concentrations of plankton or fish. It is able to ram, filter feed, or can gulp in a stationary position. This is in contrast to the passive feeding basking shark, which does not pump water, and instead it swims to force water across its gills. A juvenile whale shark is estimated to eat 46 pounds of plankton per day. The BBC program Planet Earth filmed a whale shark feeding on a school of small fish. The same documentary showed footage of a whale shark timing its arrival to coincide with the mass spawning of fishing shoals and feeding on the resulting clouds of eggs and sperm. Whale sharks are known to prey on a range of platonic and small nectonic organisms that are spatiotemporally patchy. These include krill, crab larvae, jellyfish, sardines, anchovies, mackerel, small tuna, and squid. In ram filter feeding, the fish swims forward at a constant speed with its mouth fully open, straining prey particles from the water by forward propulsion. This is also called passive feeding, which usually occurs when prey is present at low density. Due to their mode of feeding, whale sharks are susceptible to the ingestion of microplastics. As such, the presence of microplastics in whale shark scat was recently confirmed. Despite its size, the whale shark does not pose any danger to humans. Young whale sharks are gentle and can play with divers. Underwater photographers such as Fiona Ayerst have photographed them swimming close to humans without any danger. Although whale sharks are docile fish, touching or riding the sharks is strictly forbidden and finable in most countries, as it can cause serious harm to the animal. The shark is seen by divers in many places, including the Bay Islands in Honduras, Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, the Maldives, close to South Ari Atoll, the Red Sea, Western Australia, Taiwan, Panama, Belize, Topo Beach in Mozambique, um, Sodwana Bay in South Africa, the Galapagos Islands, St. Helena, Island Mujeres, La Paz, Baja California Sur, and Baja de Los Angeles in Mexico, the Seychelles, West Malaysia, islands off Eastern Peninsula, Malaysia, India, Sri Lanka, Oman, Fujairah, Puerto Rico, and other parts of the Caribbean. Juveniles can be found near the shore in the Gulf of Tajora near Djibouti in the Horn of Africa. There is currently no robust estimate of the global whale shark population. The species is considered endangered by the IUCN due to the impacts of fisheries, bycatch losses, and vessel strikes, combined with its long lifespan and late maturation. In June 2018, the New Zealand Department of Conservation classified the whale shark as migrant with the qualifier secure overseas under the New Zealand Threat Classification System. It is listed along with six other species of sharks under the CMS Memorandum of Understanding on the Conservation of Migratory Sharks. In 1998, the Philippines banned all fishing, selling, importing, and exporting of whale sharks for commercial purposes, followed by India in May 2001 and Taiwan on May 2007. In 2010, the Gulf of Mexico oil spill resulted in 4,900,000 barrels of oil flowing into an area south of the Mississippi River Delta, where one-third of all whale shark sightings in the northern part of the Gulf have occurred in recent years. Sightings confirmed that the whale sharks were unable to avoid the oil slick, which was situated on the surface of the sea, with a whale shark speed several hours at a time. No dead whale sharks were found. The species was also added to Appendix 2 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora in 2003 to regulate the international trade of live specimens and its parts. It was reported in 2014 that hundreds of whale sharks were illegally killed every year in China for their fins, skin, and oil. The whale shark is popular in the few public aquariums that keep it, but its large size means that a very large tank is required and it has specialized feeding requirements. Their large size and iconic status have also fueled an opposition to keeping the species in captivity, especially after the early death of some whale sharks in captivity and certain Chinese aquariums keeping the species in relatively small tanks. The first attempt at keeping whale sharks in captivity was in 1934 when an individual was kept for about 4 months in a netted off natural bay in Izu, Japan. The first attempt of keeping whale sharks in an aquarium was initiated in 1980 by the Okinawa Churami Aquarium in Japan. Since 1980, several have been kept in Okinawa, mostly obtained from incidental catches in the coastal nets set by fishers, but two were stranding. Several of these were already weak from capture, stranding, and some were released. But initial captive survival rates were low. After the initial difficulties in maintaining the species had been resolved, some have survived long term in captivity. The record for a whale shark in captivity is an individual as of 2021 that has lived for more than 26 years in the Okinawa Churami Aquarium and Okinawa Ocean Expo Aquarium. Following Okinawa, Osaka Aquarium started keeping whale sharks, and most of the time, research on the keeping of the species was made at these two institutions. Since the mid 1990s, several other aquariums have kept the species in Japan, South Korea, China, uh, Taiwan, India, and Dubai, with some maintaining whale sharks for years and others only for a short period. The whale shark kept at Dubai's Atlantis, the Palm, was rescued from shallow waters in 2008 with extensive abrasions to the fins and after rehabilitation, it was released in 2010, having lived 19 months in captivity. Marine Life Park in Singapore had planned on keeping whale sharks but scrapped that idea in 2009. Outside Asia, the first and so far only place to keep whale sharks is the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta. This is unusual because of the comparatively long transport time and complex logistics required to bring the sharks to the aquarium, ranging between 28 and 36 hours. Georgia keeps two whale sharks, two males, Taroko and Yushan, who both arrived in 2007. Two earlier males at the Georgia Aquarium, Ralph and Norton, both died in 2007. Trixie died in 2020. Alice died in 2021. Georgia's whale sharks were all imported from Taiwan and were taken from the commercial fishing quota for the species, usually usually used locally for food. Taiwan closed this fishery entirely in 2008. And if you want to learn more about the Georgia Aquarium's whale sharks, watch the show The Aquarium. It is a really good show, even though it's only 2 seasons, but it takes place at the Georgia Aquarium, and you could actually see the whale sharks they have there. It's actually really fascinating. You can even see how they feed them, which is really cool. In Madagascar, whale sharks are called Moracantana in Malagasy, meaning many stars, after the appearance of the markings on the shark's back. In the Philippines, it is called Butanding and Bailon. The whale shark is featured on the reverse of Philippine 100 peso bill. By law, snorkelers must maintain a distance of 4 foot from the shark, and there is a fine and possible prison sentence for anyone who touches the animals. Whale sharks are also known as Jinbei zame in Japan because the markings resemble patterns typically seen on a jinbei. Grano bintang, roughly star from the east, in Indonesia, and kaong, literally starfish, in Vietnam. The whale shark is also featured on the latest 2015 to 2017 edition of the Maldivan 1,000 rupiah banknote, along with the green turtle. And you guys, this is all I have for the whale sharks. But next week, my all-time favorite shark, prehistoric sharks. That's right. We're going to go into some prehistoric sharks because I did have a request for that. So that is going to be a big shout out, you guys, in the video to the person who requested this topic. So we're going to go into some prehistoric sharks, except for the megalodon, because I already did a video. I might do a little bit about the megalodon. But I look forward to next week's video, prehistoric sharks. All right, so a big shout out to M. McCooney. What was the numbers again? Oh, 6225. Hi, Mick Cooney, and I want to congratulate you on being the first person to select a video topic. Next week, prehistoric sharks. That's right. I'm so excited because I actually know very little about prehistoric sharks, but there are a few that are really cool to look at. Have you guys seen the one that has he has like a saw on the bottom of his mouth? He's really cool looking. Anyway, so prehistoric sharks next week. We'll do that. It may be a several part video. I have to see how much information I can look up on prehistoric sharks. I feel like there's not going to be a ton because, like I said, they're prehistoric. Anyways, there won't be any moving videos on next week. It's going to be pictures. So look forward to that. Big shout out to Mick Cooney. So nice to have my first request, you guys. And seriously, like, comment, subscribe. I reply to every comment I get, you guys. You guys matter to me. Share my videos. And I am just going to make a quick shout out, you guys, to my cause. If you want to know more about my cause, I plan to end shark finning before I die. I am 37. I don't have that many years left, guys. So feel free to go to my GoFundMe. The link is in the description of every one of my videos. I will accept any donation. And coming up very soon, you guys, I'm going to start selling merch for my cause as well. If you want to know more about what my cause is specifically, check out my video, Why Did I Make Amazing Sharks? It goes into the details of what I'm planning to do with the money I'm collecting. Good luck, you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and send me requests. I promise I will make your video. McCooney's getting his. I mean, come on, guys. All right, great. I'll see you guys next time on Amazing Sharks.